Voila. Yeah. Welcome to the re-arrival of yet another episode of R&R. It's Jamerson Ballard. I'm the host. You understand? And it's been a while. I'm kind of wondering if y'all miss me because I've had to take a bit of a hiatus. I had some things that made me rearrange my priorities in a way, and but I haven't forgot about y'all. I'm back. I got some fresh ranting to do because it's been a lot going on, man. I mean, I'm all for it, right? But I'm here really primarily to get you guys to grow, right? An ounce of prevention, it beats a pound of cure. So here at R&R, we want to try to keep bullshit from happening before it goes into it, right? But, you know, it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. No matter how grown you get, you still going to get tested. So don't ever, get too comfortable. You know the mantra, man. Comfort is the enemy of success. And we here to be our best. So, let's get to it. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Kicks, the urban luxury shoe brand. Brought to you by yours truly. I'll leave a thumbnail in the description box so you can check them out, man. And they're soon to be available for the viewing public. Also, our newest sponsor, the Velvet Tiger, over on Reno and MacArthur, would love to have your business. So if you are into hydroponics or medicinal marijuana and you have your card, go pay them a visit, man. They got some excellent stuff to show you, and do enjoy responsibly. Okay? Now, today's episode is entitled Sandcastles. And I know that, some of you have tried to reach out to me about, why don't you have more compelling titles? Why don't you use different hashtags? Why don't you say stuff that's going to make people want to look? I'm not really trying to do the drama thing in order to get to where I'm trying to go. If you enjoy the show, enjoy the show. But if you know, you know. Okay? Sandcastles is just exactly what it sounds like. Castles that have been built on sand. Yes, sand. 29, what's happening? All right? Not the appropriate foundation has been used for a lot of these relationships that have been built in apparently the podcasting space, and it's starting to show. I mean, it's been showing for a while now, but it's starting to show in areas that that I indulge in myself personally. I don't know if you know, but this week there's always been rumblings of what happened to the Craig's Facts show. I deal with Craig as a roaster because bruh is very funny and out of the box. So we like that. We love that. I love to see an underdog win. And it's not just him. It's also been something going on with Matt Hoffa and his podcast. And before I get into some of the details, which I'm not going to go too much into detail, I want to get you to understand one thing, bro. And Craig made a point to say this, and I think this is true, right? You can draw your own conclusion from this, but there are spiritual laws that are enacted whenever you engage in certain things, and whether you understand or know what they are or not, they still exist. One of them being the law of attraction. And the reason why you see me here today, right now, in front of you, the viewing audience, by myself, is because you could argue that I'm a control freak, but that's not necessarily the case. Because having the confidence to do something like this by yourself is a talent within itself. And a lot of people don't necessarily have the ability to be interesting or compelling in front of other people. Now, although the comedy thing is something I want to have pronounced more so when I do these things, the point of the matter is I'm not nervous or fumbling about, because, you know, if you was to do stand-up comedy, for instance, you're not finna do stand-up comedy with no group of niggas. You are by yourself. So when you do a speech, you by yourself. If you're not able to compel the crowd or keep people engaged because you are not able to speak well, or you nervous, or you scared, when you go into dealing with people that you would have around you, you're probably going to attract those kind of people. People who have, you know, character flaws in that way. The confidence is lacking. And so when you go into something, the way you start a relationship is how you will end it. And some of these people be coming into these spaces, you know, just there's no planning really. They just kind of doing shit. They had something going on for what Craig sounded like it was just something that was happening. And, you know, the pandemic was going on. And it was like, you guys want to be a part of this? Cool. Some people were in bruh's life for a period of years, etc. And I'm not trying to beat up on the cast. I'm not trying to beat up on Craig. I'm not even judgmental of the fact that I just wanted to prevent a lot of that shit from happening. That's why I didn't come into this thing with a whole group of niggas. When I was doing the music thing, I didn't feel like it was necessary to have no group of niggas. I never joined a gang, although I was tapped on the shoulder a few times. I was fortunate enough and confident enough to say thank you, but no thank you. It has served me well, and I don't regret it. I actually kind of took that as a badge of honor, knowing that I am an army of one. Because a lot of times, and this is not no shade to gang members altogether, a group of people are in the group because there are strength in numbers, but a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, bruh. And a lot of times people get together because they not really confident in their squabble skills on the solo level. Now, granted, I am a larger individual, which don't really, you know what I mean, regardless if you big or not, you still got to handle them from the shoulders if it ever come down to it. Now, I don't necessarily come into the same problem as a lot of people for the most part on a regular basis because of that, or, you know, but when it ever do come down to it, you're going to find out that you had to bring your lunch in order to get involved with this. And some people just don't want to do that, right? Which, again, has served me well. But overall, you know, you just got a bunch of misfits who just want to kind of be in a group together. And, again, no shade to any gang or gang members. I mean, but this goes for even issues with, like, the Greeks, the black Greeks that call themselves, you know, fraternities and or sororities. I mean, they get into these things because they want to have an edge. And shout out to you, because they say if you want to go somewhere fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with other individuals. But it would also behoove you to make sure, however you do this, that these people are like-minded individuals on more than one front. But you never really understand or know who you is or who you dealing with until you get into a kerfuffle. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to be careful about how you ask God for stuff, because I've heard people say that they ask God to remove everybody from their circle that don't mean them no well, and then they end up losing everything in a way. And that's just kind of how you cut the grass, is when you don't have, then you find out who really fucking with you. So I'm not finna get on this soapbox too long, and then do a whole bunch of speeching altogether. I'm just saying, in a very long-winded way, that an ounce of prevention beats a pound of cure, man. For me, it's this simple math, right? So, with that being said, let's kind of get into what's going on with some of the things that's going on some of these podcasts, right? We're going to start with Craig, because that's the thing that's been on the front of my mind. And I really hate to see how things went, man. It's sad, bro. It's sad, but, you don't really know what's going on. I didn't see rap groups and I thought they was cool with each other, but then you find out later on, like, for instance, we had the Ghetto Boys. I found out that Willie D, shout out to Willie D, didn't like but the smaller one. And I've drawn a blank on his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. When he died, Bushwick Bill. When Bushwick Bill died, we all kind of found out what was going on with that. Also, and this is no shade to Scarface, because I wasn't necessarily a fan of Willie D's rap style or form or his music altogether, but he always struck me as a real individual. And then when he started doing the podcast, I got a little more partial to Brett, because I'm seeing and talking to him more. Listening to him more, right? But when the 50th anniversary of the hip hop situation, we seen kind of a kerfuffle with Scarface and him, because he felt like whenever Scarface got the call, they was calling on the Ghetto Boys. But to be honest, Scarface didn't move the way Willie D would have liked for him to move and bring him in, or even offer for him to be involved, to let him turn down the whole thing or whatever, or give him his, the chance to do the solo thing, but then accompany him as a Ghetto Boy, whatever. It just kind of it was weird. And so now I'm having to see this thing happen again because let's face it, Craig Facts was kind of like a spinoff of the 5150 show, and I fuck with the 5150 show. Shout out to Corey Holcomb, one of the greatest to do it in the comedy space. And when he come out here, I make it a point to go see, bruh. But I fucked with Craig due to the fact that he was on the 5150 show, which led me to see him on Roast Me, which is where I found out how talented he really was. Because the dude is smart, bro. Let's just face that, bro, smart. And I wouldn't have known about any of the other individuals, including Blaze. Shout out to Blaze. Because I became cool with Blaze. This really hit home for me, because I didn't like to see how things transpired. I kind of felt like, regardless of how individuals felt, that a lot of that could have been avoided, right? Craig and Blaze decided they was going to come together and have a discussion on a public forum, which I disagree with that happening, but I guess, because if it was something that was personal and y'all hashed it out personally between y'all two and y'all decided y'all wasn't going to go no further than that, then cool. But the clout. The motherfuckers be wanting clout. And I don't think it worked out to the benefit of certain individuals, because there was some shit that came out that kind of, rubbed me the wrong way. Not on a personal level, but just because, with me doing things on my space called Weirdo of the Week, it was some things that looked kind of iffy. And it's made me kind of look at things differently. But overall, I didn't think that the way that things were coming out was altogether productive, because, it was just sounding like there were personal attacks coming from Craig mainly towards Blaze when Blaze was kind of chilling. I think, even though I disagree with the whole touching of the leg on the female, et cetera, that because it sounded like it happened a while back, right? But if that was how you felt and that was something that was going on, it was still like, and it looked like that was before the comedy press kind of came to be, and he still had his own show. And if you felt like bro was on some weird shit and you didn't fuck with that, why continue to be? Why did it come out on a public forum? And I'm not here to critique. I'm just saying, if you a real individual, these are things that should happen regardless of the fact that people are now looking and scrutinizing. If that's how you really felt, bro, that wouldn't have to be something I brought up to make you or to shit on your reputation in public. If you my boy, I'm going to tell you that was not cool, and then I either decide I'm not going to fuck with you, I'm going to fuck with you with a long handled spoon or whatever in private. Now, when it comes to the young lady and to keep from being sued, yeah, I dealt with the problem. I talked to bruh. We have to take steps to make sure that these things don't happen again. Maybe make sure that he don't never get to sit by a girl no more, or whatever, to make the things going forward more comfortable. But I'm going to talk to him about that behind closed doors, and then we'll move accordingly in the future. But it was just kind of sloppy, and, it was some names being called. Brett was calling. DJ Show called him the clown facts, and all because when I looked at it, I guess it was a lady that he was involved with that was a part of the comedy press. I guess that he called her a bowling ball built bitch. I've never seen this lady, so I don't know, but she was causing problems for him because she wanted more from him than he was willing to give. He was trying to keep it professional. Now, I always would agree with that, man. You don't shit where you eat. So all that fucking on people that's in your staff and around you, some people don't subscribe to that. But that's not something I feel like should be happening when you are an employer or when you are a boss. You know what I'm saying? Keep your dick out the mix and you will go a lot further, right? But then also, it's just sometimes where you can't win for losing with some of these motherfuckers, man. They want what you got, and when they see that you're not willing to give it, they want to make problems for you. And I try to keep people who have mental instability away from me. But I watch people for a very long time before I decide whether I want to bring you in my private life. Personal, private life. That's like, I was listening to some dude that was an ex-CIA agent, and he was saying that there's 3 different lives. There's your public life, there's your private life, or your professional life, your public life, your private life, and then there's like your, I don't want to say super private, but the private life that you don't even, or your secret, was it your secret life, or the life that, your private life is the life that you have your spouse and your close friends who might know you, have your birthday and all this, but then you have the life that you only know about, that you haven't told anybody about. But that's for another episode. Right now, all I'm saying is, you just gotta watch where you step, man, because a lot of people full of shit. And the guy was saying that the lady came out the bag and fucked up and said how much she had paid him in public, and DJ show got wind of it, and he called 80 motherfuckers, and they all figured out that this bruh had, I guess they felt like he was holding out, but at the same time, like, the man got receipts saying he paid people, even though it might not be as much as they felt like they should have been paid. You know, his money is his, and you get what he decided to give you, because you wasn't doing this for no money in the first place. Usually, it was, you know, for maybe the exposure, but then, you know, you get people around you who start get the big head because they feel like, you know, I mean, you know, but they are driving from here to there and over years. You getting bread, you know. What's wrong with paying people a fair wage so that they don't complain? But it's just like some people are not pleasable, regardless of whom or what. And, you know, you can read certain books to kind of give you clues and how to see who is what and how to keep bullshit away, because I did. I mean, there's a book by Robert Greene, I think. It's called The Law of Human Nature, which I had a chance to read before I started whatever I got going on now. And it's helped me tremendously. Also, books like Proverbs and just, you know, even the 48 Laws of Power will behoove some of you to read. Because one of them laws that come to mind a lot of times when I hear a lot of this shit is, don't outshine the master. Even though you might not consider bread the master. And, you know, the ego is kind of weird because it's like, you know, you got people who are in this space now and they're being exposed. And it's like, y'all would have never been seen if it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And that's true to a degree, but, you know, shit, man. After a while, people are going to, they steal them underneath it all. You know, you got spouses whispering in ears and, why don't you get this done? Why ain't he paying you? You going there again? We should be doing this. So they're missing engagements, making a commitment to come down to this space after they initially just decided to do it, maybe whether there's a contract involved or not. It's just right and right and wrong is wrong, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell nobody how to do their thing. I can't tell you how to run your shit. But, you know, some of this shit is just unavoidable, because it sounds like with the Math Hoffa thing, and I don't even watch that show that much, but I heard Brett kind of, you know, pour his heart out about how he be helping people, this and that. And, you know, some people just ain't shit. They just be ain't shit with less, and then when they get a little bit on their feet, then you get to see who they really are. And that's fucked up, but that's what books like The Law of Human Nature can kind of give you a gauge on, because it's some archetypes. There's nothing new under this old sun, bro. A lot of these people have been exposed, but a lot of times, come here, niggas don't fucking read. You don't read. Why? Whenever I see my people with a book, nigga, I'll make a wish on a star, because it's just that rare. Why we don't, when we are the fathers of invention and innovation and all of these wonderful things that we not aware of, you know, civilization, this is our bag. But I digress. I'm just saying, bruh. The information is out there for you to get it. You don't necessarily always got to bump your fucking head to find out what's going on. But you don't really have the motivation to see it. Now, but me seeing other people bumping their head, bro, I'm kind of cool on that. Definitely cool. Way cool on that. I'm so straight. Super straight. But anyway, bro, so yeah, I mean, if it ain't Joe Budden, Matt Hoffa, what other podcast can we name where it was just like fucking, I mean, even like I said, music groups, R&B groups, I mean, it's always going to be somebody that's a standout, right? And there are going to be roles for role players because everybody can't be shining all the time. You know, you just sometimes got to wait your turn. But a lot of times we as men don't want to wait for nothing. Matt Hoffa said niggas is trying to take planks up off your boat, build their boat, and sail off into the sunset. That was not funny. It's real. That shit real. Oh, man, what? You don't know nothing about this individual. I bring a nigga on the R&R and he starts shining and trying to make sure he's shinier than me in every effort that he get. Then he trying to take that. I mean, you know, that's kind of weird, but people do it all the time. You know, I would hope that if I brought somebody like my brother Dave, I brought Dave in, Dave is a very smart dude. I wouldn't have nobody on the show that ain't smart. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if I was to go on somebody like that show, I'd have to let them play the lead. I'm not finna try to overtalk, bro, sound too cool or sound cooler, but I'm gonna make sure when I do talk, I know what I'm talking about. It makes sense, but I'm not finna try to outshine, bro, on his shit. If I want something, I would start my own platform and work it that way, which is what I did. But a lot of niggas ain't got the courage or the balls to do none of that shit. They start getting feedback in the comments from certain individuals or woo, and then, why you don't get your own show? You should have been, you smarter than him. And, you know, there's just a lot of bullshit that be coming out of that shit, man. And it's up to you to kind of weed through that shit and play your part. Anyway, let's get into some of these other topics, man, because I'll probably like spend a little time on this. I ain't seen y'all in a minute, man, but I had to get that one off, man, because it had a special place in my heart, and I'm tired of seeing it. The shit gave me anxiety seeing two grown niggas argue in public. I don't like that shit. I'm a product of of an environment where there is abuse happening, and then two men talking to each other to a certain degree like that. If they was in each other's personal space, there probably would have been a fight. It wouldn't have been no talking. I can't see how Blaze was that cool about the whole thing. I mean, maybe it was just like, okay, but it looked bad, and bad, not good. This niggas in the comments like, bro, you lost, Craig got off on you. Like, bro, that was childish. That was childish. I can't tell a man how to do what he do, but bro, I just could not stand to see that shit. And then bro making video after video trying to, you know what I mean? And then I guess they're gonna do it again. Why? Why the fuck? Why would you know that shit ain't gonna go? It's not gonna be okay, I talk, you talk, and then I talk. It's gonna be niggas over talking emotional shit like, what? And they say it's light skin. I'm just saying, bro. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. You know what I'm saying? So let's just kind of, I guess, I don't know, man. Maybe just leave it where it's at, because that rematch shit don't sound like it's going to be worth it. Anyway. I mean, like I said, I don't got a dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't really, I fuck with Blaze a little more because I've talked to Bear. We've corresponded. You know what I'm saying? And I, what what can I do? What can I say? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, shout out to Dewan B. Brett kind of came out and said what he had to say about the shit. He didn't appreciate being lied on. He's saying that he don't bomb. He ain't bombed. And look, it is what it is. You know, the video of Brett doing whatever Blaze did with the lady and all that shit, that felt like that was a little excessive. But I mean, hey man, they say it's all fair, love and war, bro. And I guess this was, to him, was war, instead of him having a productive conversation with the individual and trying to hash things out and get to a understanding with one another. It was just, I'm finna tell all these niggas that you ain't shit and I'm better than you. You not better than me. Because that's maybe how he felt Blaze was kind of coming. And I can't say that wasn't the case. Because although the nigga wasn't raising his voice, he was smooth. it don't mean he wasn't trying to get him to see that he was wrong, but his bro wasn't trying to hear that shit. And you can't force a nigga to see, they error their ways. They just kind of got to learn the hard way sometimes, right? As much as you care about a motherfucker, you got to let them keep bumping their head, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you don't fall out with other individuals, you know what I'm saying? But because the respect for them individuals, by this I mean like Corey or anybody else, Lord forbid. I'm just saying, he's saying he would never, but it's just like the egos kind of get to clashing and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what's next? Anyway, let's get into this, because this is all kind of like celebrity spotlight, right? Because these is the celebrities for the most part, but the part that I thought was funny, but very definitely disgusting, was the fact that, look, we done all heard about Diddy. Diddy this, Diddy that. Diddy. Mr. Take That. I don't even, now that I done heard this shit, I'm like, damn, is that why he was saying that shit? And then my boy Dave, again, shout out to Dave. Dave put up a Facebook post of Mace being asked if I think Diddy at the time, he was still going by Puff Daddy or something, was like about to come out with a gospel album or something. And I think this may be when Mace was, doing his church thing. He like, what if P. Diddy came out with a gospel album? Could he do that? And Mace was like, you really want to know what I got to say about that? He was like, so is it, can RuPaul come out with a gospel album? And it like kind of went over people's head, but now it's like, oh, this nigga freaky as hell. What the fuck did this nigga got going on, bruh? Now, I done seen post this nigga and Meek Mill. Yeah, I'm finna get into that shit a little bit now. Him, Puff Daddy, and Meek Mill running around with the same outfit on. What the fuck kind of shit is that? Two grown niggas do not need to be dressed alike in the same place nowhere. If you see two niggas dressed alike, one of them niggas need to leave or do something. I'll buy some jeans that I know, I'm the only nigga that I know with them, but I see a nigga in a music video with the motherfucking jeans on. I didn't wear the jeans no more. I didn't feel comfortable no. And it's weird because I know it's like ain't no ones and shit. But if I bought something, because I'm very eccentric, if I bought something I thought that was only me that had it, and I see another nigga with something strange on like that, it would lose value to me. That's me though. This nigga got posted with this man with the same short suit on, and then it came out with the motherfucking audio, and it was like, what the fuck? This nigga was beating this man shit in. I couldn't really. It was weird because it was like, this shit was disgusting. Why is, and then he, wow, I'm just so glad that I was never a Meek Mill fan. Nor was I ever a Puff Daddy. I didn't fuck with none of that shit. And I can't say that I knew any of this was going on. I just didn't fuck with Rick. Because Rick was named himself after another nigga that actually is alive. And, if me and Rose ever met, shout out to him. Whatever. I don't have no hard feelings towards the nigga. I just, as a teenager, this shit made me feel like, because you doing that and then that's your help, I don't fuck with you, so I'm not fucking with none of the niggas that you signed. Not him, not Wale, none of them niggas. And that's just how I felt. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't necessarily do business with bruh. Whatever, but, not have to put my personal feelings aside on that. But not thinking I would ever meet this individual, I just kind of was like standing on my principle of not fuck with a nigga that don't. Because it's just, and to the first point, if you the leader, everything is always your motherfucking fault. So be careful, those who decide that you want to lead, because when your subjects or the people that you got under you get the veering off and doing shit, you're going to have to take responsibility for that too, because that's all you're doing. Even if you told them not to or don't do it or can't do it, you didn't tell them not. You got to kind of take responsibility for the fact that that shit happened. That's the only mature way to do shit. But anyway, damn, Meek, really? Is that where he's at? Like, I just keep getting hit with, and it's hard to shock me. You know, these eyebrows, they don't really go up that easy. I was like, wow. Bro, I don't even want to start trying to mimic the shit, because it was just like, bruh. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Shaking my motherfucking head. Apparently, according to Corey, it's all them niggas in the industry at some point or another. And I'm just starting not to doubt the fact that man is right about a lot of that shit. It don't make you not look at niggas different, because it's like, when I heard about the Will Smith shit, I'm not going to be able to watch you as a hero no more, fam. I'm not buying it. All you actors and shit, like the John Major niggas, like you running in shit from a bitch, that shit, I guess I agree with Corey on the fact, not even I guess, it's harder to see a nigga as who they acting like they is when I know the real person. I seen the movie with a nigga that I know, and it was kind of hard to see them as an actor in the role. Especially when the role was kind of like, because he got jammed up. I was like, oh shit. I'm in the theater dying laughing, bruh. Because it's like, wow, my nigga getting jammed up by a nigga with makeup on his face and beard and shit. But anyway, I just didn't, so that acting shit, bruh. Man, wow. Niggas be acting tough and hard and talking about and drugs and all this old shit. And, you know, or you you playing gangster. Oh, and this another nigga. Well, what's the nigga name that played Kane in motherfucking Boys in the Hood? No, not Boys in the Hood, but Menace to Society. Man, I heard this nigga was motherfucking this tyrant something. But anyway, the nigga Reggie from LA. I mean, it's got to be tough being out there, bro, seeing these niggas. I mean, you know, you keep seeing videos of this nigga talking about how he didn't fought this nigga, fought that nigga. I think he said somebody he didn't fought Trey D from the what is it, the nigga that fucked with Snoop. And maybe a couple other niggas. I think he ain't got in a fight with that nigga from the Outlaws and, you know, all this other shit. But it came out that the nigga was Jamie Foxx's boy toy. And it's like, what? What? I just get sick to my stomach, bro. The shit niggas be having to do to make it, bro. It's just, bruh. I've never been the type to knock no man hustle, but nigga, if you throwing your booty hole around trying to get it, I just can't fuck with it. I can't fuck with it. Anyway. Time for the segment I like to call Don't Be a Weirdo. And on today's segment of Don't Be a Weirdo, we got a doctor out of Lake Wales, which is like in Florida. He was arrested a couple Mondays ago after the Lake Wales Police Department in Florida found that he was secretly recording the changing room within his office. Say what? Yeah, bruh. According to the police, a 16-year-old girl with her parents for the first physical therapy appointment with the 30-year-old Dr. Pola Gade. That's the nigga name. And Pola Gade, you are the weirdo of the week. Congratulations. Anyway, the doctor of the physical therapy at Ava Rehab Clinic, that's where he work at. I mean, I also got a practice out there in Orlando, so watch your kids, watch out for that shit, bro. She was directed to go into the bathroom to change into a gown and given a towel to cover up. The 16-year-old came along to her next appointments. During her fourth appointment, Gay told her to change inside an exam room, which had a privacy curtain, and she noticed a partially hidden Ring camera with the blue record light on. And the next day, the teen and her parents reported Dr. Gay to the police, and he was arrested. I'm pretty sure he got out on bail. I'm just saying, though, man, this kind of shit is happening, bro. You know what I mean? These weird-ass old motherfuckers is watching these kids do shit, and it's just like, you can't never be too careful, man. You can't never be too careful. It's a lot of strange shit going around, bro, and the shit is becoming normalized. So, watch your ass, watch your kids, watch your kids with other kids too, because it be kids to be showing these kids shit because they've been exposed to weird shit in their home life. So, you know, it's just, I'm not really, I know I used to, back in the day, used to be like, can I spend the night? Can I spend the night? Can I spend the night? I used to be kind of mad because moms and them would be like, well, I need to meet their parents. I need to see who it is. You know what I'm saying? I need to know. Yeah, because I need to know. I need to know who is chaperoning, who I call, who's responsible, who gonna be there. Do they got roaches? What y'all gonna eat? Like, I be there, send my kid with her own food. Don't drink nothing over there. Keep an eye on your drink. Matter of fact, I'm going too. And it's just, what's the point? I don't want to be one of those kind of parents that be hella paranoid and all that shit, but I just, watch out for your kids, man. Watch your kids, all right? Because it's out there, man. The weirdos is out there, okay? Now, to the next segment I like to call Who Got Active, all right? We got a gentleman out of Washington, and this is kind of like, look, y'all got to forgive me, man. I've been kind of off for the last month trying to make sure I got things together, and if this is something you didn't heard already before, okay. But this is what I got. So we ranting about that. If you don't like it, you know what to do. Anyway, on Who Got Active, we got a DC man named Joseph Cheeks. Now, Joey done won the motherfucking lottery, bro. Black man out of DC. Bro, trying to do something with the money. And I don't know if they know that, but they didn't pay him. Brett seen the numbers on the TV screen and noticed that he had the winning lottery number. He didn't comprise the number out of birthdays and shit in his personal life, right? So he go down there to try to turn the shit in, and they turn around and told him that there ain't no winning ticket. What? So you tell me I didn't spend money, spend time, waited, seen my numbers, looked at the motherfucking website, this my numbers on here, and they telling me that I didn't win? So you know he's suing, right? And this is why he gets our Activated Individual of the Week award. Because you motherfucking right, he better start suing. He definitely got a case too. What the fuck? What the fuck? The jackpot, 340 mil. You motherfucking right. That's some life-changing shit, but I've been heard that they don't want us to have that kind of money, which is why they won't never give us reparations, or they won't give it to us willingly, because they're afraid. And I say they, but you know what I mean. The individuals in power like having us at a point to where we're consumers. I mean, although we don't understand our purchasing power. We are the largest consumers on planet Earth. But we somehow can't figure out how to keep the black dollar black, or the foundational black American dollar black. We don't own enough businesses. We don't. But if we was to get that going, they are afraid of the fact that we wouldn't necessarily be somebody they could just kick around no more. And they'd have hell to pay. Because, you know, they teach us history like our shit started as slavery or something. But before that, we ran everything. And they don't want us to get back to that. So again, if you read, and shout out to Tariq Nasheed again, bro, because the Hidden Colors series did it made a world of difference in my life, and it helped me see visually some of the things that I've heard about, because I've read books like And They Came Before Columbus, where it talked about we like to smell our money, and we had spears tipped with gold. That sound like us, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We not who they trying to portray us to be, and they not who they say they is. They was talking about how AI had generated a bunch of images of black people, and it was like the people that are of Caucasian descent were in an uproar because of that shit. Because they don't want to realize and see that they can't control certain shit. The AI is like, yeah, well, you know, this is what I got for y'all. Anyway, and I don't want to sound like I don't care, because I got people that are of Caucasian descent that I love and fuck with heavy. And I just won. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, the truth is the truth, man. And it's probably going to hurt you to hear it, but if you real, you going to just kind of understand that and go on about your life. Because that's what it was, and that's what it will continue to be. But having us neck and neck with them where it's even, they feel like that's an L for them, because we don't need that much to take off and get it. Every time we had something, they damn near they kind of sabotage us. It's hella cities that are underwater because they flooded them and turned them into lakes. But they was prominent black communities, and then they want us to think that we can't do shit, but they are afraid of us having it. So I think that might have something to do with Brad not getting his bread, but I hope that he get it, man. So shout out to Joseph Cheeks, man. I hope you get your money, man. And you are our activated individual of the week. So go ahead, bro. Get that shit popping. Next, we have Worldview. Now, on Worldview, we got some crazy shit going on. And I don't know if this is something that we can consider a revolution, but I mean, I'll show you that it goes to show you the power of togetherness. Because apparently we got some shit going on in Haiti. Shout out to Haiti, but it's kind of scary to think about how this shit is going on, right? I don't know if you didn't heard about this, but Haiti has got some shit going on. They got a prison break that had happened with like 4,000 niggas that got out of prison, out of 2 prisons that was broken out of, and it was like only 1,000 left. Oh, good looking now. And what the fuck was going on with you, the niggas that didn't want to get out of prison? First of all. Second of all, it's a nigga named Barbecue out there causing problems for their ass. Now, in Barbecue's defense, his real name is Jimmy Sharizi, and he is a former elite police officer that has gotten together all the gangs out there in Haiti. And they mad, and they want Ariel Henry arrested because Brett was the prime minister and he's the president, but it was somebody else before him. And 2 weeks after he was made the prime minister, that motherfucker got killed. So maybe they feel, and then, okay, so now Brett is bringing in, and I forget what part of Africa he's bringing in troops from. Like the United Nations has sanctioned some part that was Zaire. I don't remember what part of Africa it was, but they got troops heading out there to come out there and help wipe out a lot of this shit. And the gangs have band together in Haiti and have some type of coup. If you don't know what a coup is like a political uprising from the people against the government. They just want, what is that, Ariel Henry arrested, but I don't know how likely that is. My thing though is, how does this affect us right here in America? Because they didn't let out 4,000 motherfuckers, and our borders is so fucking weak right now. We got an influx of criminals already coming from Venezuela, and these motherfucking MS-13 people that jumped out and got up here, and they robbing motherfuckers, pushing people off train tracks and shit, stealing phones and kicking over old ladies and shit like that. It's becoming a problem, which is probably something they anticipated happening, that they can kill America from the inside out and cause an uproar and like have like what's the word I'm looking for? A state of emergency, or not, like just something where they could just kind of like enact the where they just kind of have the military involved in our neighborhoods and shit. And it's just not something I want to see happen. But, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, there's a lot that can be accomplished when you stick together. That's what one thing I want us to kind of take away from that. But also just kind of like watch your ass. Watch your ass, because a lot of these individuals, you hear a bunch of people speaking French and shit, they might be from, and I mean, you know, that's going to be something that a lot of people maybe in Florida have to look out for. Florida, possibly. I say Florida, but I mean, if they, whatever, they probably going to come up through Texas like everybody else, and or California. So it's just something we got to look out for. And, you know, that's not cool. Also, in the world view, we have India. India is also like a very largely populated area, but it's not necessarily safe for you to tour there right now, because it was a woman and her husband, but mainly the woman. They was on a bike tour around the world. They in India. And it was a woman that was raped by 7 individuals, gang raped, because they was in the wrong place, wrong time. I say wrong place, wrong time, because this shouldn't happen to anybody. And I don't think they're American citizens, but they still tourists from maybe Barcelona or somewhere like that. The lady had like dual citizenships from like maybe a couple different places, but they had came into India with they passports from Spain. The married couple was biking across the world. They biking in this area. They saying that they want to kind of chill out for the night. They made camp, and they got bum rushed by 7 motherfuckers. They beat the couple. They robbed the couple, and the 7 men raped the lady. So I don't know how many of y'all are planning on traveling to India in the next few, but you might want to change that, because that shit is rough. For all women in America, whenever you go outside of America, it's not America. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if you understand that you can't go out there talking shit to these people. You damn sure can't be by yourself. Apparently, you can't even be with your man because they don't give a fuck about him. They raped the lady, I'm pretty sure, in front of this man. Now, they didn't apprehended 3 of these people, and they got 4 still on the run. And this is not something that just happened to tourists. Apparently, out there in India, they having 90 rapes a day. 90. Now, we know India is some freaks. They freaky. They got the Kama Sutra book. I said they probably hitting her in 17 different positions apiece with they little pipe, hairy arm having asses. Freaky. So watch the fuck out, because it ain't just about chicken marsala and shit like that out there. Okay? And curry and shit. And kebabs. You gonna fuck around and get raped out there with a picture of the 8-armed elephant in the background somewhere and dots on heads, and that's just what it is. Smelling like curry the whole time. So stay the fuck out of there right now, because it just ain't safe for your ass, especially if you out there trying to turn up and look thotty and be drunk and whatever else you trying to do. Okay? Find somewhere else to go. All right? Now, and also in the worldview, they got some shit going on in Japan. And I do mean shit, because they have somehow found out how to turn shit into steak. That's right. They started making beef out of shit, and then perfected it. They turned it red and added some soy in it for taste, and I don't know why the fuck they playing in shit out there in Japan, but I'm kind of leery of meat substitutes, and it ain't the only thing. I think somewhere in Asia, and it might be China, they dumping hella nuclear waste into the Pacific Ocean, so they fucking up the fish, and they serving niggas shit. I don't get it. I like fish. I fuck with salmon. I like omega-3s because it do shit for you that a nigga need. But it's not finna come out the motherfucking Pacific. I guarantee you that. It's gonna have to come out the Atlantic or somewhere else. The Indian Ocean, I don't know. But it's not, I'm not fucking with nothing out the Pacific right now. And I would advise you not to also. And then, I don't know, maybe read the ingredients on the shit that you buying. And I do mean the shit that you buying. Because I don't know if they deemed it safe to sell or consume in America, but it's just like, I'll be leery of anything that come up out of Asia and that region. I just don't. I mean, some of the women look nice and all that old shit. It took me a while to get around to eating sushi and shit like that. I fuck with Japan, actually. I really do. I learned how to use chopsticks, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they got to it. And I fuck with it. I respect them. But I'm not eating no shit, man. I'm not eating no shit patty burgers. Thank you, no thank you. Anyway, that's pretty much it for that, man. I did have a segment I used to call Wake the Fuck Up, but I ain't really, it's some musical acts out there, but like I said, I got to vet these niggas. Cause this shit that's going on with Diddy and all that shit, man, I'm surprised this nigga even get radio play still. And I'm not saying that, you should not fuck with Brent. But, yeah. Nah. Hell nah. Yeah, nah. 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 So you have to forgive me if you're a musical artist that I've featured on and you want to talk, we can still do that. But I'm gonna take a break on fucking with some of these new niggas, because I ain't vetted them, and I'm not finna keep telling niggas about, and then he come back and be like, you told me about, I heard about him because you, and he freaky, and he doing weird shit, and he didn't touch the kid, or he didn't ate somebody, or did some shit. So yeah, you have to, you can fuck with any of the niggas that I fucked with on season 2, but right now we just gonna chill out on that. We're going to go on to this segment I like to call Now Flowers, because that's nice and safe. But, we still dealing with individuals that has been tried and tested and, real nigga approved. And they ain't nothing to be played with, but they not perfect. So, excuse me. But right now I'm going to introduce to y'all a brother I like to name. His name is Andre Taylor, AKA Gorgeous Dre. Now he in the streets. He was in the streets as a prominent pimp. But the reason why I'm showcasing him today is because although he was in the streets, bro was facing life. He got out, and I think he lost his little brother, he say, and because of that, he was able to turn that into action. Got active and made a police accountability law that was, pushed in Washington that holds police accountable for excessive force used on